Here I am at the train station here in Bielsko-Biala. I'm about to set off on the train you can see behind me, the intercity to Warsaw. In Warsaw I'll be changing trains to go to Torun. And Torun is where I'll be attending the Teacher Training Day tomorrow. I'll be giving a short talk myself, very excited about that. I'm excited about the whole thing really. The Torun Teacher Training Day is one of the highlights in the teaching calendar, you could say. It's one of the biggest teacher training days that I know of. It's certainly one of the biggest in Poland, and I think it's going to be pretty great. So can't wait to get started. I think the train should be leaving in about 10 minutes. I should imagine any moment now the doors will open. I can go on board and find my seat. So I'm now halfway through my journey to Torun. I'm here in the capital of Poland, Warsaw. I love this place. It's one of my favourite cities in the world, to be honest. It's I'm not sure if I would want to live here, but it's a fantastic place to explore if you're a tourist. But I'm not stopping. I've got about 15 minutes. I've got to catch the connection, and then it's a 3-hour journey from here on another intercity, I think, to take me to Torun. Then I'll be looking for my hostel. It's nice English weather, but it's all right because I've got my umbrella, of course. So next stop, Torun. Made it to Torun at last. I set off this morning, leaving home before 7. Got the train from Bielsko to Warsaw, had a very quick change there. Got the next leg coming over here to the main station in Torun. From there I decided to walk. I mean, there were lots of buses, I could have taken the bus, but I thought it'd be more fun. I'm glad I did actually. I walked across the bridge, and the sight of Torun, the old town, across the river Vistula, or the Wisła as it's called here in Poland. It's quite stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. As you can see around me, it's got some really, really lovely architecture. I'm going to enjoy exploring this place, but of course I'm not just here to explore the city of Torun. I'm here for the Torun Teacher Training Day at International House. So I'll be heading off to my hostel now, get checked in, have a look around, get some food, and tomorrow showtime. It's Saturday morning, quite early still. We've got about an hour before the Teacher Training Day gets underway. I'm going to go to watch the first presentation that's going to be in the same room that I'll be in. There's only about a 10-minute break between sessions, and well, I'm a little bit nervous. It's a long time since I last did a presentation like this, so I don't want to find that I'm in a rush to get set up for my session. So yeah, the choice is kind of made for me. Had a great first night in Torun, met up with some of the other teachers that will be in attendance today, and we went for gingerbread flavoured beer at one of the local breweries. It's nice. I mean, I couldn't ask for it again after that. I think that was one drink was enough, but it's interesting. Everything here is kind of about the gingerbread, which is good if you like that sort of thing, I guess. It's a very blustery morning, windy, a bit wet, and I'm on my way to the school now. Just thought I'd stop here and post kind of an update on what's going on. So next thing you know, I'll be at the school. So here we go. This is where I'll be doing my teacher training talk in just a couple of hours. Got all the desks arranged around the room, and that's where I'm going to be standing, up at the front there, in the spotlight.
To us as teachers and humans, and also in the classroom. All right. So, and guys, and then they kind of learn how they could have done it better. With encouraging trial and error in written work, I have really been trying to do this with my CAE class this year. Trying to get a group of 17-year-olds to edit their work and go back and read it has been problematic. But they're finally, because obviously I started with them in September, they're finally starting to see my wisdom. Well, one part of it.
Okay, it's 5-minute break between sessions. Just had a very interesting one on building a positive mindset, and in about 5 minutes we're going to start mine. Here we go.
If then you've got a little ready-made explanation, even better, or you can actually overtly teach it, do a lesson or part of a lesson or activities on it. Okay, so what we'll be looking at today will sort of take, hopefully you can take something away on each, if not all of those.
So I've been teaching English and then teacher training and writing since 1986. I was 5. So at that level, and grammar too, so that you can kind of check what they're expected to know. And also a good course book. So if you're creating materials for a certain level of a class, and there's a course book that you normally use or often use, and you trust the course book, borrow ideas about, well, leveling is one.
Ron had 2 desks in Torun, and she managed to make both of them look like a small paper explosion.
We've got 2 plenaries, kindly sponsored by Oxford University Press for Jon Hird. And, of course, National Geographic Learning for Katherine Bilsborough. There will be a short 15-minute break in between the plenaries, and at the end of the day there will be an exciting prize draw. Eagle. 3 e-books by Rob Howard.
I don't know how you feel about it, but as an example of a typical English language conversation that's happening. Similarly, how would you need to get there? How long? How long time? this is another thing that's been focused on as a feature. And I think basically what it is that I think proponents of English all over Frank will be saying that we should accept this and not worry about it. Not worry about it as being actually redundant or a planism or whatever it is.
Look at that. So this is somebody talking about coming across as being very confident, but in actual fact being having lots of self-doubt.
So some very important people. First of all, of course, I want to thank you, the participants who have travelled from many countries, including as far as the Czech Republic, Russia, Ukraine, the UK and Spain. Thank you so much for coming. And of course, thank you so much as well to all the participants who have travelled from across Poland to come here as well. I know that's not easy, so well done, thank you. Also a big thanks to the amazing presenters for their excellent sessions. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Thank you as well to all our kind sponsors, including National Geographic Learning, Oxford University Press, Express Publishing, and everybody else who is sponsored for the prize draw. Thank you so much. Thank you as well to the awesome, amazing IH Torun team of teachers who have been slaving away, many because I've been telling them to. Thank you so much, I really do appreciate it. Also, a huge thanks to the one and the only Assistant Director, Robert Gruszczyk, for his amazing behind-the-scenes work. Robert! And of course, a huge thanks to the Director of International House Torun, Mr. Romuald Poślednik, for allowing this all to happen. Thank you, Ron.
So, Glenn, thank you very much for the Teacher Training Day. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
So, same time next year?
Yeah, absolutely. Either in March 2020 or in April. We don't know. Maybe in April because the weather's always better, but let's see.
And we can check the details on the Facebook page and on the IH Torun page.
Absolutely, yes.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Well, there we go. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
So it's Sunday morning. The Teacher Training Day has been and gone, sadly. It's already over. I've got a few hours to spend here in beautiful Torun, and then heading back home via Warsaw and the slow train this time to save a few zloty. Some reflections then, and I'm going to give you my top 5 from the Teacher Training Day, in no particular order, but I'm going to start with number 1, which is Torun itself. Torun is an amazing city, really beautiful. The sort of architecture you can see behind me stretches through the old town. There's so much to explore, and I really feel like I've only just scratched the surface. So when there's a Teacher Training Day next year, I think I'll be registering pretty early for it. Yeah, wouldn't mind a return here. So number 2 is the organisation that must have gone into the Teacher Training Day. I arrived very early, about 2 hours before the first session in fact, but already the school was thrumming with activity. The teachers were all there from IH Torun. They were wearing these distinctive yellow polo shirts. They were always there, ready to help, guide you which way you wanted to go, to chat, to talk about teaching, really welcoming. But I was really impressed as well with just the level of organisation. We were all given a very nice laminated lanyard that we could wear that had the programme for the day on it. There were sign-up sheets ready, drinks, places to chat, some food. They had some pizza as a kind of a snack. Yeah, and the real benefit of all of this, I thought, was that clearly the teacher training day is something serious, it was something big, and it made you really feel like you were part of something big as well. So it's this sort of attention to detail that I think makes this day such a cut above what it could have been, certainly. And yeah, I'm really glad of it. I think that the school did a great job. So there's a shout out to, I think it's Romek, the director, who kind of was behind a lot of it. And of course to Glenn Standish, without whom I don't think this could have even happened. So thank you, Glenn. It's nice to meet you yesterday, finally. There's the man Copernicus behind me. So number 3, I'm going to be a little bit selfish, blow my own horn here, but it was great to present. That was really one of the highlights for me. It's been a long time since I presented anything in front of an audience this big. I had at least, it must have been 25, maybe even 28 people, some people sitting on the floor, everyone packed in, and I think the response was good. A lot of people came up to me afterwards and said that they got something from the session, and that's really great. It's lovely to hear that sort of thing, because it makes me feel like I feel like I'm not teaching in a vacuum, if that makes sense. One of the problems as a teacher you often find is that you go into the classroom and close the door and you're there by yourself. It's just you and the other students. So nobody else knows what you're doing. Nobody else can see if you're doing things right or wrong, or if you've got good ideas that are worth sharing. So these sort of presentation days, they're really worth having, just so that teachers can kind of share their ideas and get some feedback from other people. If you're curious about what my session was about, it was Zero Preparation Games, and if you visit my website, it's closellyobserved.com, you can help yourself to PowerPoint, and if you like, try out the same presentation in your school. I don't mind. So yeah, giving a presentation, fantastic. Great fun as well. So the 4th point on my list, and for this I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna use my crib sheet, because there's so many people to mention here that I'm bound to get something wrong. So this is the lanyard that I told you about before. Really nice thing, really good touch. And it's got a full list of all the sessions, the different rooms, the times and everything. Now, I really wish that I'd been able to go to more, but you can only be in one place at one time. So what did I do? I did All in the Mind with Rachel Hunter. She's a teacher here at Torun, and I think she did a great job. She's talking about the idea of a positive mentality in the classroom for students, and as teachers we should focus on giving feedback that is under the control of the students. If you praise somebody for being clever, they can't do anything about that, and if they find that the next task is too challenging, they'll start to feel that it's not for them. But if you praise somebody for their work ethic, well, how hard you work is something you can control directly. So if you go about that way, I think it's really positive. So that was a great presentation. And some of the ones that I wish I'd been to for that slot. Amy Gowers, I heard that she did a great Writing with Young Learners course. There was Darina Luchowska, who did a New Life for Speaking tasks, which sounded fascinating. And I miss seeing Rob Howard. He's a big name in English teaching. He did effective practices for one-to-one. Missed it. So then the second slot, well, that was my slot, so I didn't get to go anywhere else. But there were some pretty interesting ones here. I wanted to see Annette Egel's presentation, Out of Your Seats. She's got a good book that was available during the teacher training day. You can buy a copy. Then after a short break, most of that I spent kind of coming down from having done my own presentation. Then I moved for the two, let's call them the big hitters, the guest speakers. Jon Hird kicked things off then for me with this idea of spoken grammar, some very good grammar terms in there. That's the sort of thing I love. And then after that, it was Katherine Bilsborough. Very good presentation, like the 10 common errors that people make when they're making materials for the classroom. I thought that was really rewarding, and I'll definitely be able to use some of those ideas. But again, I missed a lot. I missed seeing Chris Bain do his presentation on using dialogues. Chris Bain is another teacher from Bielsko, so hopefully I'll get to see a repeat performance when we get back home or something. But there were some others. There was something about increasing student talk time with Alistair McCarthy. That would have been a good one to see. And then later in the afternoon, there's one on using Lego blocks by Natalia Liashko. That would have been great. I've heard so many great things about how Lego can be used for this way. And then, yeah, missed it all really. But I got to see a lot, and it just gives me more of an appetite for next year. After the sessions, we then moved to a nearby hotel where we had a couple of plenary talks. Jon Hird gave one talking about aspects of contemporary English, so this idea that we have lots more nouns being used as verbs these days. I think that's quite a common thing, and I'm glad that he focused more on that than on the other way around, this idea of nominalisation, taking verbs and making them into nouns unnecessarily in a lot of cases. That was good. And then we finished with a talk about self-esteem by Katherine Bilsborough. I think that was a pretty good way to cap the day, really. Nice and positive, something to go home and think about. So, yeah, I mean, the whole thing, brilliant. And the last one, sun's coming out now. It's going to be a nice and warm day, and I'm in my big winter coat. Oh well, can't plan for everything, can you? So the last point, number 5 on this random list of highlights, and it's nothing really specific, but it's more the feeling I've got right now, the mentality, let's call it. These sort of teacher training days are kind of, they're an injection of energy. They give you a real boost, and I can definitely feel that. I feel like it's really been worth coming here, because this experience is going to carry me forward for the next couple of months, I would say. It's going to give me a renewed drive, a bit more thrust in the classroom, you know, ready to go in, do it, just do it. I think somebody once said that. I really did enjoy it. Meeting all these people, just sharing experiences with other teachers and being positive. I mean, I've just been overwhelmed by how much positivity I've come across in the last day and a half, really. I mean, even this morning, just I went to Bulka. There's one little cafe that does a breakfast special. They're open at 8, and I met another teacher there from the teacher training day, and we sat there chatting, talking about literature, talking about doing a PhD in applied linguistics, everything like that. It's just amazing. I love it. Getting to meet all of my counterparts from different schools and people who are in it with me, you know, they have the same experiences, they know what it's like, they know what I'm talking about when we talk about different things. It has been really, really rewarding. So I think that's my top 5, that's my reflection on this teacher training day. Thank you to IH Torun, thank you to all those involved. Thank you to my own school for all the support on getting the teachers to this teacher training day. And well, can't wait till next year to be back here. So I'll leave you with a little bit more of Torun. See you next time.